at 30 is tired. 40 at 40 is wired. LeBron with his second 40-point game since turning the big 4-0, and the Lakers needed nearly every point of that in Portland. Luka will be full go in this one. He's still getting his legs back after missing 6 weeks with his calf injury. The Lakers will need him at his best if they're going to take down the Joker. Denver has won 9 straight as they surge up the standings, and he is no joke. The Lakers are far too familiar with Denver in recent years, and not a lot of good memories either. The Nuggets have eliminated them in the playoffs the past 2 seasons and won the last 5 meetings in the regular season. Tip-off is coming up at 5:30 over on ABC. As we say hello and welcome to Access Sportsnet Lakers, brought to you by your Southern California Toyota dealers. I'm Allie Clifton, joined again by our Hall of Famer Big Game James Worthy, our Laker insider Mike Bresnan. How you feeling, Big Game?
I'm good.
It's good to see you.
No load management tonight. I'm going to play the game. Feel a little bit better.
No minutes restriction. He's pregame. He's postgame. He's all in.
All
Crazy.
now feels right in the
Crazy
world.
stuff going around, man. Allergies and flu and stuff, and colds.
Yep.
All good though.
The one thing
like
we know.
IV drip on the side. You're gonna be okay.
I opened in the corner. How'd you know?
He was tuned in the whole time. We were getting text messages.
Watching.
Just about everything we were saying.
Watching.
Good to see you back. We start with the West standings. Check this out. In case you haven't looked in recent days, here's your top 6 as it stands today, led by the Thunder, of course. Your matchup tonight, the Nuggets, who, as we just mentioned, are surging in the standings. They've won 9 straight, including 6 at home. Then you got the Lakers, who are a game back there in that 5 spot behind the Rockets, and 2.5 game lead there on the Clippers. So it's a lot of fun per usual. However, this is not so much fun. Check this out. One, we'll begin first. I was going to talk about the schedule, but first, Luka. This is the fun part. He is back in action after missing the second night of the back-to-back there in Portland, of course. Brez, let's start with you. What do you want to see from him?
You know,
his 4th game in a Laker uniform.
Yeah, 48 minutes. Is that too much to ask? Is that all right? We'll tone it down a little bit.
You might need it.
I mean, somewhere in the mid-30s minutes-wise. That's about what he was playing in Dallas. Not just this season, but the last couple years. You know, I'd like to see something like that if he's comfortable with it. Well, also what I want to see, not as much fouling. He had back-to-back games, James, where he had 5 fouls. What does that tell you? He's probably not completely up to shape yet, or in shape yet, and up to speed, not moving his feet quite fast enough, reaching a little bit, and fouling people. That's not really the Luka thing. He doesn't foul out. He doesn't get in foul trouble that often. So I think, maybe taking that extra game off, work on your conditioning a little bit more during the last few days, and just I want to see him make some threes, too. He's had some trouble shooting that 21% from deep with the Lakers.
Yeah, I like to see all of that, Brez. In addition, I like to see him play as hard as he can, even if it's a short period of time. Take himself out. You know what I mean? I don't like to see him when he's tired. That's when he starts to foul a little bit. That's when he starts to get the almost automatic blow-bys on defense. So the way to play yourself back into shape is to go play hard, for a short stint, even if he plays 2 minutes less, a quarter or something, and then get some rest and come back and play hard. But I want to see him injury-free. I don't want to see him, an injury. And all the things you mentioned would be good for him. So.
He might need to call for that, especially because they're combating the altitude tonight. So the quicker you can get to that second wind, obviously, not just for Luka, but for everyone. 33 minutes for Luka the last time he played versus the Hornets. I was jumping ahead a bit just because we were talking about before we came on air. You want Luka to feel good. You want the whole team to feel healthy because of what is ahead. The Lakers are rolling with the hardest remaining schedule. They are playing their best basketball, but big game. We just broke it down. 17 games in 31 days in the month of March, correct? You've got 6 games in an 8-day stretch. You've got 4 back-to-backs for the month, of which 3 sets of those back-to-backs happen in those 8 days. Can they keep the good basketball that they're playing? Can they sustain it?
Well, the one thing they can't do is look at that schedule and start to feel sorry for themselves. It's going to be tough enough as it is. Yeah, if you take it, quarter by quarter, game by game, it really takes a team effort mentally more so than, physically. You're definitely going to have to bring it on the court. But it takes a collective effort mentally to decide, look, hey, this is how we're going to play tonight. Be aware of how the game is going, especially when you're on the road, back-to-back games. It could be done. Veteran teams know how to do it. And so it's just a matter of, how they calculate each game and, look at their faults and move forward. it could be done, especially if Luka gets back to any kind of condition or playing minutes that we want to see him. So it could be done, but man, it's going to be difficult.
Yeah, not a lot of easy outs on this schedule over the next 10. Pelicans about halfway through there, the worst team in the West. The Nets towards the bottom. They're not looking to win much over the next 2 months. So no easy games there, including a very emotional one Tuesday when Luka plays against his old team. So, it's starting to get to that tough point in the schedule. The good news for the Lakers, the last couple of years, they've really responded at this time of year. They've come out after the break, James and Allie, and they've said, you know what, got to make up some ground in the standings. They're actually better now than they were last year. Sitting in 5th, you definitely want to stay there. Enough of the play-in tournament.
Right.
I mean, it's fun, it's exciting, especially when you're not in it. So it would be good for them to really clinch a top 6 spot, hang out for that week, watch all the play-in tournament games, and then go to work that weekend with the first-round opener.
Yeah, we are tired of the play-in tournament, and I'm sure the guy over your left shoulder is tired as well.
I'm glad you said, especially when you're not in it, because there's nothing exciting about the play-in game. I mean, they've done well when they were in it, but we're better than that.
Like it.
As great as Mr. 40 has been playing, do you think he feels good about the schedule? He weighed in today with this. Because it is insane. The game now, again, one of them is a makeup game. That San Antonio game is a makeup game. But nonetheless, we mentioned the 4 back-to-backs. Here's the 3 of them that are happening within that 8 days. And you see Milwaukee twice and you see Denver twice.
It's about 3 weeks away when that starts up.
That is insane.
Brez, I've never known. Maybe you have some insight to this, but I've never known how the NBA schedules games throughout the year. That seems a little bit ridiculous.
It's crazy. I mean, like Ali said, sticking that Spurs makeup game in there, that's what really makes it difficult. Reminds me of the lockout schedule. When the NBA shut down in 2011, everyone came back to work on Christmas Day. The Lakers actually started that year with back-to-back games. 3 games in 3 days. So this isn't quite as crazy, but 6 in 8, that is asking a lot. If you start at the end of this month, they have a back-to-back to finish this month. Just a little more schedule math for you. They will have 19 games in 33 days, including that back-to-back. So they're healthy except for Maxi Kleber. So that's good. Everyone's not very few people on the injured list. You got to stay that way, no doubt about it.
Do you think any other team has? It seems like last year we were talking about a crazy schedule, too.
I know.
Is it equally spread out?
No, it's just the Lakers. It's just the Lakers.
I feel like they're playing 92 games this year.
Insane.
You know who would know?
To the membrane.
We're going right now to it. We're going to get you live to Denver. Lakers reporter Mike Trudell. He's first on the floor, as always. Hello, Mike.
Hey, guys. Well, Allie, over the last couple of years, I've become perhaps the world's foremost play-in expert in terms of seeding and scheduling and all that. Please don't make me take the notebook out again and get into all that, okay? Can you just kind of float above that? I do not want to have to dig into the play-in stuff. Can you take care of that, please?
We'll not ask again.
Don't want to do that again.
Yep.
Okay. I'm just thinking it's probably back to some trying times. Alas, and also, speaking of trying times, here in Denver, right over the last couple of years, maybe tonight is the time that they can flip that around the other direction. Maybe Luka Doncic can be the difference. He did average 36 points against the Nuggets last season. They do struggle in defending him. Of course, it's a whole new team with all different schemes and teammates, and they're still trying to figure that out. So I put that question to JJ Redick. How do you kind of have Luka be integrated here and then also go to some of the things that worked for him against the Nuggets? Here's JJ.
I think he'll have the ball in his hands a lot today. When they played them earlier this year when Luka was in Dallas, they shocked him on nearly every pick and roll. So, we'll expect some of that, some drop, but he'll have the ball in his hands.
Denver's been pretty consistently good for a while now. Have you seen anything in their recent streak that's standing out?
Well, I mean, Jokic being Jokic and Jamal Murray just playing at a really high level. I think, you've seen the improvement from Christian Brown this year has been massive. And then, like in years past, they're putting a lot of pressure on the rim and they're putting a lot of pressure on your defense off makes and misses. The throw aheads with Jokic, him pushing the ball, them cutting off that, we've got to be able to get back and set our defense.
JJ, when people have talked about you guys in the center position
this is the specific matchup that they often reference or are talking about, if you guys need more size or whatever. How confident are you in the center rotation or going small, and how you can't stop Jokic, but at least slow him down or kind of pick between the going off or the supporting cast?
We have our game plan, and we think we can execute a game plan. Doesn't guarantee victory. He's seen everything, so I'm confident with the group we have.
Doncic has barely played since Christmas. What are you kind of judging to see whether he's starting to feel it himself, or what are the things you look for as a coach to let you know that he's the guy of old?
I told him this morning that I want at least one blackout episode where he's screaming indiscriminately at no one in particular because he's excited. Like that means he's back. That's the Luka I know, the killer.
All right, so Luka's screaming indiscriminately. That sounds like something that would be fun to see in the context that J-Day described. And, he did allude to the way that Denver played against Luka earlier. When he says shock, I'm pretty sure he means blitz. That's one of the coverages, of course, that teams have used against Luka over the years. Eventually, there isn't one that necessarily works great, but we'll see if they do that again tonight in this context.
Great stuff. As always, Mike Trudell, we will talk to you coming up later in the show. Blackout episodes, like we get from Geeter every once in a while. That's like once or twice a week. Lakers and Nuggets meet for the second